Positive Spin, presenting positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world.
The biggest problem we ever had was when Soko came with all
On
the
today's program, we'll profile the work of Rodrigue, Katembo, an environmentalist from the Democratic Republic of Congo and recipient of the 2017 Goldman Environmental Prize.
We knew already before they left Myanmar that the
And
nutrition
we'll learn about the humanitarian tragedy of the Rohingya people fleeing ethnic cleansing and human rights abuses in the country of Myanmar. Then we'll hear the Playing for Change Band's rousing tribute to Bob Marley by performing his international hit, Get Up, Stand For Your Rights.
I had been where they are right now.
And in our ongoing series, Inspirational Life Stories, we'll profile the life of actor, martial arts expert, comedian, and child advocate, Hank Garrett.
Right, and with the films starting to be released now, all the new films.
Finally, we'll experience Star Wars Day at the Palm Springs Public Library, a program to inspire young people to read. Putting his life in danger, Rodrigue Katembo released information of bribery and corruption within the oil company negotiating to drill for oil in Virunga National Park. His actions resulted in public outrage and the oil company's withdrawal of its proposal to drill.
Virunga is the mother of all national parks in Congo and was the first park in Africa. The park was created in 1925 to protect the mountain gorillas.
There are only 880 mountain gorillas in the world. That entire population is found in Congo and 2 neighboring countries.
Virunga is a park that is located in one of the most violent regions on Earth. Over 160 of our rangers have been killed and are continuing to get killed.
Rodrigue Katembo was given one of the more treacherous assignments in the volatile park when he was named head ranger of the remote central sector.
The job of the ranger is simple: to protect all the plants and animals in the park. When we come across someone from outside the park, doing something illegal like a poacher or rebel, we have an obligation to arrest them.
In addition to guarding wildlife against poaching and protecting the native people against rebel invasions, Rodrigue had to also watch over resources like lumber and minerals that were vulnerable to being exploited. Soon, he was squaring off against Soko International, government officials, and unscrupulous park administrators who were plotting to illegally explore for oil within the park's boundaries.
The biggest problem we ever had was when Soko came with all the documents that said they had authorization to drill for oil in the park. We were shocked. It was very painful because it would surely be a catastrophe for the gorillas, and they would most likely disappear.
The person who took the greatest risk in finding a solution to the problem was Rodrigue.
Over a 4-year period, Rodrigue went undercover, using a hidden camera, and pretended to accept bribes from Soko.
Repeatedly, his life was threatened. They held him in a cell, and during that time, he was very badly tortured. So he really paid the price for the effort to safeguard the park.
They took me at gunpoint. They tied me up and started to beat me very hard. They told me that I had brought shame to my country and that I would have to be killed today. I told them that many of my colleagues had already died. If I die today, it's not a problem. I am prepared to die.
Rodrigue was released from captivity and had to relocate to Upemba National Park for his safety. In 2014, his evidence became a central element in the documentary Virunga. The media exposure and public outcry against Soko's illicit plot intensified. In November 2015, thanks in large part to Rodrigue's bravery, SOCO finally withdrew its claim to oil exploration in the park.
The sacrifice was great. I was held captive and tortured. There was serious danger for me and my family. When we finally learned that SOCO moved out of the park, it was a victory not just for me and my family, but for the Congolese people and for the whole world.
For outstanding environmental achievement for Africa, the 2017 Goldman Environmental Prize is awarded to Rodrigue Katembo, Goma, Democratic Republic of Congo.
More than 64,000 Rohingya have fled from Myanmar to Bangladesh since August 2017. They've been driven by violence and human rights abuses, and the vast majority of these refugees are women and children. UN humanitarian agencies are working day and night to address this humanitarian tragedy.
হাড়াহাড়ি পুরা দে ঘর পুরা দে মানুষ আরে মানুষ জুলুমি করে আল্লাহ তুমি দাসি না জুলুমি করে
The type of violence that these people have gone through is really exceptional, is really extraordinary, and the extent of the trauma that I have observed is one that, as I have already said, will probably be the most difficult thing to heal, even more than the physical wounds that many of them indeed carry.
We knew already, before they left Myanmar, that the nutrition status of the population was poor. Unfortunately, it is further deteriorated and continues to deteriorate. We're seeing that impacts of poor water and sanitation, high incidence of illnesses, are forcing these malnutrition rates to levels that we really do not want to see.
My name is Mama Panas. My name is Sumaira. My name is Mama Suvait. My name is Suvaira. आरा तो हेड बर्मा मादे गम न लागे हेड पुलिस आरा रे स्कूल जाइतो न दे खेलाइतो न दे फिर गया लौर यार ली जागो तो स्कूल ताकि बार लागे तो गया बहुत ही नो आसे दे तो गया बारी का सो दिवा हिवाल पत्ती बार लागे इंग्लिश आगुआ से दिवा पत्ती बार लागे
In the next segment, we'll hear Bob Marley's anthem to human rights, Get Up, Stand Up for Your Rights, in a live performance from the Playing for Change Band in Brazil.
Now, what we're gonna do, we are gonna get you all to stand up. we're sick and tired of your isms, schisms, ding dang, go to heaven in Jesus' name. We know y'all understand. Almighty God is a living man.
You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
Now you see the light.
You've got to stand up for your rights.
Come on, brother, get up, stand up. Ooh, yeah, now stand up for your right. Come on, say, get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. I'm saying, don't give up the fight. I will never give up the fight. I will never give up the fight. I will never give up the fight. No, you must never give up the fight. Come on, I will never give up the fight. Oh, you must never give up the fight. I will never give up the fight. Never give up the fight.
In Positive Spin's ongoing series, Inspirational Life Stories, we profile Hank Garrett and his amazing transformation from a tough kid living on the streets to an actor, martial arts master, comedian, and humanitarian working for children.
I'm disguised as a mailman. That's how I gain entrance into where he is. And there's a pot of hot coffee, supposedly hot coffee, and he throws it at me. There was mineral oil in the coffee, so it was all over the ground. And I said to, Bob, whatever you do, don't come in low. I'm going to do a sweep. And he slipped, and his head came forward. As I came around, my elbow hit him and broke his nose. And he called me that night and said, Hank, wait till you see the fight scene. He said, it is so, and by the way, you broke my nose. I went, Bob, you're kidding. He said, no. I said, that's it. I'll never work again as long as I live.
It's interesting to note that following Hank's statement that he would never work in the film industry again, he received the New York Film Critics Award for Best Fight Scene of the Year. Now let's go back to Hank Garrett's early life. to see the transformations that led to his success in film.
I was born upstate New York, and my family moved to Harlem when I was about 6 months old. I ended up actually living in cardboard boxes, and it wasn't unusual at that time. And the man came to me, this Willie Bryant, and he said, I'm taking you out tonight. You and I are going out to dinner. And do you have a suit? I said, yeah, I've got a suit. He said, I want you to wear the suit, but before you do, take a bath. And he took me there to meet Sammy Davis Jr. We went up to the dressing room, went right through all these people, went right into Mr. Davis's room. Sammy Davis looked at me and said, when I hear you're either gonna die or you're gonna go to prison. I said, that's it? He said, the way you're going, yeah, that's the only choice. It scared me pretty good.
Unknown to Hank, his mother asked Willie Bryant, who was known as the mayor of Harlem, to counsel her son. This led to his first job and the opportunities that followed.
I bought myself a pair of Florsheim shoes for $15. I went from Tom McCann to Florsheim in one night. That was chapter 1 of my life.
After working at the Apollo, setting up for the orchestra, his next break came as an actor on the popular series Car 54, Where Are You?
A friend of mine who was a fellow comic, his wife was working for a gentleman by the name of Nat Hiken. Nat Hiken created the Bilko Show, the Martha Ray Show, and he was working on a show called Car 54, Where Are You? Well, my friend's wife got me an audition with Nat Hiken. And I got the audition, and I walked in and met Nat Hiken, and he said, you're Ed Nicholson. And I stupidly said, no, I'm Hank Garrett. He said, that's just the kind of dummy I'm looking for. Nicholson is the character I want you to play. And that's how I wound up being Ed Nicholson on Car 54, Where Are You? Because of the recognition I've gotten, it's opened a lot of doors for me, especially working with children. My manager, Deanna Marie Smith, and she had set it up so that I could speak to children that are incarcerated. And we went to one of the institutions, telling them I had been where they are right now. And had it not been for an angel, I would still be in prison or dead. And I told them that there's an angel waiting there for them, every one of them. And the kids wrote me letters. I referred to Sammy Davis Jr. as being my angel. And they wrote, Mr. Garrett, you're our angel. I'll never ever forget that. I have the letters to this day. In fact, just finishing the book about my life, on the streets, martial arts, pro wrestling, and all the letters are printed in the book. The book title is Up From the Sidewalk. We are also getting involved, very much involved, helping children that are being bullied. The children that were incarcerated run from the age of 11 to 17, where we were raising funds to help as much as we possibly can. And it truly is a disaster. If there's a child in trouble and in need, we'll be there.
Using the immense popularity of the Star Wars movies and its effect on young people, a librarian in Palm Springs, California, has created an innovative way to encourage children to read. The impact of Star Wars on generations of moviegoers cannot be overestimated. For more than 40 years, the Star Wars movies have thrilled audiences around the world. Now, the franchise is being used as an educational tool by a library in Palm Springs, California, to inspire children to increase their reading skills. In a special event, children can interact with officially sanctioned Star Wars characters and also become their favorite character by portraying them in costume.
5 years ago, I started this program because it coincided with the month in which the children of the Palm Springs Unified Schools District, the students actually, their science projects are due. And so to tie that in, I decided, well, science, Star Wars, science, hey, it all works. So 5 years ago, we started a small little group where we did Jedi training with lightsabers that they made themselves out of bubble wands, and it has expanded. I invited the 501st and the Rebel leaders as well to come and join us, and this has just been growing by leaps and bounds as cosplayers come from all over this state to help us celebrate Star Wars reads, literacy amongst the students and the people of Palm Springs and more.
Well, I think it's a really valuable thing you're doing because obviously it's so popular and it has such a positive message in terms of Star Wars, and so it's perfect.
Right, and with the films starting to be released now, and all the new films, it has just really encouraged our kids to think about, things of science and exploration and just anything they can imagine that's beyond what we know now. There's so much more out there in the universe to consider and to keep them motivated that, anything is possible in this world. Through reading, you can achieve all your goals, however small or large they are. Through literacy, it can be done. You can reach your goals. Well, if you just take this particular day, Star Wars Reads, and how we're trying to connect students and adults and babies and grandparents and just people from all walks of life invited to the public library to celebrate a day of happiness through reading. And reading, believe it or not, provides peacefulness. Peacefulness. And that's what we want to promote. Peace, right?
Thank you so much. That was perfect.
I think we need peace in the universe to stop wars. Same thing as the other ones, because if we didn't have peace on this universe, it would be on like World War 66. I think we should have peace because why would you want to be mean? Like, what if you want someone to be there for you if you're like dying or something? But you want someone to be there and help you and like support you?
I think we need peace in the universe to have peace everywhere and also stop wars.
Because everyone wants to be nice to each other.
Well, I think that everyone should be friends. There should be no criminals. Well, really, peace is to me, it's like everyone's fine, no war going on or anything. Nothing to deal with ISIS going on right now and all. Peace, no one killing each other or something. Really, it's just people not killing each other. Really, just doing that.
Well, I think that everybody should get along. And it's very important, especially for the kids. So events like this are great where all the kids can get together and have fun.
As I explained about why there needs to be peace in the universe.
There's no peace, only the empire.
Is the empire striving for peace? Never. All right. What's peace in the universe?
Thank you.
What would they do without it?
Even those that may cause stomach bugs. Lysol, what it takes to protect peace.
There wouldn't be one. So we all need to work in our own ways.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well, that's our show for today. We hope this program has inspired you to take action in your local community to create a better world. I'm Bill McCarthy. And I want to remind you that everyone can make a difference. Go out and make some positive news.